Now, would you have any biblical backing for drafting either one, the will or the trust?
Look, in terms of, I think the will, when we look at scripture, it recognizes the existence of a will, but also that we have a responsibility as parents to make well or to leave legacies for our children.
Okay.
That's a biblical position, that you have a responsibility to look after your children, and if you have acquired whatever you have acquired, it must pass on
To your
your
children. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about legacies, most Christians believe that it is better to pass on spiritual blessings rather than material wealth. So they're not necessarily interested in drafting wills and acquiring enough wealth, and they just want to impact biblical or spiritual wisdom upon their children. What would your comment be?
I don't agree. I mean, we spend a lot of time working, firstly, and we acquire whatever it is that the Lord blesses us with.
Okay.
We have a responsibility to pass it on to our children. That's the first point. Yes, we have a responsibility to live godly lives as an example for our children. But we can't bequeath grace. You can't save your children. The Lord must save them. So if you are saying, no, I'll pass only, what are you going to pass? The opportunity, you can only pass the opportunity for them to get saved.
Yeah.
You can't ensure that they get saved.
Okay.
You can, however, leave them the property which you have acquired.
Okay, so
Yes.
another thing to note really is when you are bequeathing estate and property to your children, it is better you've also invested in them morally, spiritually, so that they should have a brain in their head or in their head to be able to take care of the wealth that you have passed on to them properly. Wouldn't you say that is something that you should also invest in as you decide to bequeath this estate to your children?
Obviously, I think, look, when we go back to what you were saying about bequeathing spiritual values, yes, you must bequeath values to your children. Okay, and the best example for children, they follow what their parents do. Children are very observant. So if you are hardworking, you love your wife or you love your husband and you show that you care for them, children will learn those things. You look after the property, you teach them to be frugal, not to be spendthrifts. Then when you bequeath them the property, they will be able to look after it. If you don't make them responsible, yeah, and we have seen many examples of people's children who 2 years, 3 years after the demise of their parents, they are destitute. Not because their parents did not leave them anything, but because they didn't inculcate in them the values to look after the property.
Okay, all right.